Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, baby mums and baby dads all over the world. That one hits a bit closer to home now. cat,
Very
cat
close.
owners all over the world. You lot are moving mad right now, but it's cool. So, man, cats are trying to do a Mazzoline, but don't worry, man. We'll save
Sabotage the pod.
it. Welcome to episode of Take It Through podcast with myself, Rods. I got a new nickname. And I wanted to debut it here in it. Yeah, so it's Rods, aka Father. That's it now, man. Father, Godfather, all of them things there. Basketball Godfather, you know what I mean? I'm here with LA Snooze You Lose Jules.
I don't even know what to. No, what? Hello. There's a lot I've got to rant about my team. I'll come to that later. I'm here.
And making an appearance and not in under surgery, we got LA Cam in the building. Clipper Cam.
Hello, Rodney. The hell is that,
First
man?
shot of the season, he started.
The hell is that?
We start early. Okay. So we've got a few things to get into today, but firstly, we have to start by saluting and giving flowers to one of the game changers, one of the most explosive point guards in NBA history, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Adidas. Bring your brother and your friends and your cousin to get paid as well. Yeah. Derrick Rose. So Derrick Rose, after 15 years, has finally retired. Um, I wasn't shocked, but I kind of was as well because I thought maybe he'd go to 16, 17. I thought maybe he would have ended it in Chicago, but that wasn't a possibility. Plus, right now, the way Chicago is, I don't think anyone should end their career there, to be honest. Um, but just to go through Derrick Rose. So, for those who are new to basketball, he was a point guard. Yeah, just to start. You never know how many newbies will be here. Yeah. So he was drafted by Chicago Bulls 2008, first pick of the first round. You know he was serious. 15 NBA seasons, 8 playoffs. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get a ring and get it done. He was a three-time All-Star. So MVP in the 2010-2011 season, was Rookie of the Year, All First Team, All NBA First Team Season MVP. Yeah, he did a lot. His career averages for the regular season: 17 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists. In the playoffs, 21 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. So he's put a good body of work to make a claim for the Hall of Fame. D Rose was one of the biggest what ifs as well, because unfortunately, due to injury, we wasn't able to see the magnitude or scale of his skill. You know, a lot of things. History could be really different right now if he wasn't injured. So he's one of the biggest what ifs. But guys, after seeing, hearing, and downloading that D Rose is retired, how do you feel? Obviously, you can give your flowers and like, what are your thoughts, man?
You go first.
Yeah, you go, Cam. You go.
All right. Um, I think he's done very, very well for himself. Obviously, a tragic injury quite early on in his career kind of derailed it completely. But I think I'm just grateful that he was able to continue playing. And
Yeah,
that when he dropped 50 when he was in Minnesota, it was a very um,
yeah,
emotional time for the league. I know a lot of people and fans will watch it as well. Like, damn, it definitely pulled on some heartstrings there. But you know what, man? Like, considering how bad his ACL injury was, and the fact that he could never really get back to himself, I'm happy that he was able to have, like you said, even when you said 15-year career, I was like, really? But yeah, he did get drafted in '08. So yeah, um, I think really when we talk about Derrick Rose, we're talking about you know one of the, like you said, one of the biggest what ifs there could have been. I mean, Chicago might have won another championship. We'll never know.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that he was from there, got drafted there, brought some energy back to a team and an organization and a city that weren't really saying a great deal for a long time. Says a lot. I know when he got moved from there, he was very emotional about that as well. But you know what, man? If I'm being perfectly honest with you, I feel like he got everything he could have possibly gotten out of basketball after that injury. Like there's nothing more he could have possibly wanted outside of probably a championship, obviously. But I mean, like you said, All NBA. He got All NBA obviously the one time, which is kind of like sad when you look at it. But I don't want any conversation. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame just for being the youngest MVP to ever win it. And like we said, completely turn around a franchise that it was looking bleak in Chicago prior to '07, man. I can't lie.
No, it was. It was.
Yeah, and I think just to kind of touch on what you said, I think D Rose was something the league hadn't seen. And I think D Rose was kind of the perfect transition of like what we're seeing a lot more of, like the slash guards and the jars, different style of point guards and like the Steph, what he's brought in. But like that time of what D Rose was doing, no point guard had ever done it. Like
Mm,
point guards dunking over centers, like left, right, and like every game, 2, 3, 4 times a game. You're like,
mm,
is this guy human? Is this guy and like the hops and the domination? It's like the way D Rose played the game. You're seeing someone like the way Westbrook always like attack the game and really like that season he won the MVP was still one of the most special seasons because again we're not talking about like you said Chicago were down in the dumps. Like when it sometimes you're looking at the magnitude of when a player gravitates a team, it's not just what they do on the court, but it's also off the court. Like it's like you said, the city was bleak. Since the MJ era, Chicago really just didn't have anything going for them. So for D Rose to come in, he literally electrified that city and to be honest, like you correctly said, they had such a good team. I think they came up against LeBron and the Cavs a couple times, but they could have gone all the way if like maybe things. I know there was that series where they missed that key out of bounds call on I think the Cavs that no the refs they called a timeout the Cavs, but the Cavs didn't have any more timeouts and they gave them a timeout, but they realized after the game that that was actually the eighth timeout. They didn't know during the game, but it's like that would have been a turnover possession, and
technical
I
foul,
think
yeah.
yeah. So like a lot of little mini things that didn't go their way or D Rose's way, but yeah, hands down one of the best players to play in the league.
Just a quick one as well. One of the greatest like in-game poster dunks I've seen is the lob he caught against Goran Dragic. Um,
Oh,
That was even our intro.
like
that
yeah,
was an
man.
intro.
Like
Yeah,
no, but that's what I'm saying. Like for me anyway. Like as someone who used to play NBA Live and stuff like that, I was really trying to get him to recreate shit like that. Like you know, like he really made it like normal, and I really do think he normalized like guards being ridiculously athletic. I feel
Yeah,
like
mm,
yeah.
when you look at the fact that him and Russ were in the same draft, and going on forward, you mentioned John Moran. You look at guys like Anthony Edwards now as well. Like I don't know. I feel like for me anyway, he just normalized guys being under 6'6" and being able to fly. And yeah, man, he's going to be missed. Obviously, he hasn't been playing like that for years, but it was still a nice thing to see him. I remember when New York were subbing him in as like a little sympathy thing when fans would be like D Rose when they're up like 20 or 30 or whatever. But yeah, man, I'm just happy I got to see him play, even though
mm.
his prime was very short lived because of the injury. But I'm happy I got to see him play.
Yeah, 100%, man. So yeah, it's definitely sad to see him go, and obviously, like you say, one of the biggest what ifs. But nevertheless, he still, made a good case for himself. He's still done what he had to do. And yeah, I mean, 15 years in the NBA, still still a career you can look back on and say, you know what, I did everything I could. So that's the main thing. That is the main thing. So just want to obviously give our flowers to Derrick Rose. Obviously, hope he has a great retirement. Whether he still stays around basketball or not, he probably will. It'll be good anyway for the game of basketball.
Mm.
So A lot has happened in the off season. There's been a few trades, a few what the heck kind of trade. Been a few blockbusters. Um, so obviously one of the recent ones that have come along with attached with an old one with New York. Obviously, New York now have acquired, like I said, they've gotten Miles Bridges early on, and now they've acquired Carl Anthony Towns. And obviously Minnesota get Julius Randle and DiVincenzo, 2025 first round pick, and someone's name who I don't really care about. But yeah, like this one was a bit mad because we all know, obviously, Carl Anthony Towns' history with Minnesota. Never once requested a trade in the 9 years. They don't really complain like that. Was loyal, and just the manner in which he just got shipped and traded. Not even a conversation. Not even told. Nothing. It's just boom.
I,
So
I
I'll trade. Like, okay, you guys obviously say what your thoughts are and how everything sort of happened. Like, do you kind of agree with it? And does this kind of make more of a case when they, control their own destiny and ask for trades?
like I don't know. I hear it in it, but like all these guys that sign these 5, 6 year contracts, you understand that you're signing away your right to have autonomy over where you play for that period of time, right? Like you're playing at whatever team signs you that contract until they think there's something more they can do with you or move you somewhere else, for instance. So I don't necessarily feel bad for him for that. Also, let's be real. He got traded from a small market to a major market.
Yeah.
Like top two biggest markets, potentially the biggest market you could get traded to in basketball in the Knicks. Like, it's not like he got sent to Utah. Let's just like say that as well. And he got sent to a. It's not like Knicks of old. He got sent to a contender. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna act like he's been hard done by and he's been sent to Utah after giving 9 years of his life to a struggling franchise. They made the Western Conference Finals last year, and they got shown up in the Western Conference Finals. He did not play that well in the playoffs. He hasn't played that well in the playoffs for a couple of years now as well. That also needs to be said. And I feel like Minnesota looked at him as a situation where I understand at one point we built our team around this guy, but we drafted someone else who's better, who we think we could then build around again. And I need to double check it, but I know the Knicks sent over one of the Pistons picks. I don't know if it's protected for 2025, but if that's an unprotected Pistons picks and the Pistons are as bad as they were last year, you're telling
Is
me
a
the Timber say again?
is a the top 13 protected pick.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
so it won't convey, most likely won't convey this year, but in the next couple of years, that could be a very very valuable pick for them to get. I honestly think Minnesota lost this trade. Like if we're being
Yeah.
perfectly honest, the Knicks because Julius Randle doesn't really fit in their system. They
No.
had the best scenario in Cat, who's a shooting big. They got DiVincenzo, which is great. Are you going to start DiVincenzo and Andy Edwards? Probably not, because you still have Mike Conley. You just drafted Robert Dillingham as well. Like you've got four guards who are going to be fighting for guard minutes. Unless you're going to say you're going to be playing small ball a lot, and Ant's going to be playing some three, which I wouldn't really want to see if I was in charge of that franchise. So I'm not really sure what Minnesota did. The Knicks, great business move. I can't even lie. Like they're missing out on shooting by getting rid of DiVincenzo, but at the same time, like I think when you get an opportunity to go and get Cat, and I think Cat's contract is a bit high. I don't know if they necessarily should have, but at the same time, like in terms of you've got a very small window with this Knicks team because they're not spring chickens. They're not that young. I'm not saying they're old, but like average age is going to be between 27 and 29, which should be their primes. So you're saying I've got these guys together for the next 2, 3 years. We need to make a finals, and we ideally we'd win. But I know they have championship aspirations, so I'm not mad at the move at all.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, obviously, 100% the Knicks won this trade because Mitchell Robinson's not fully healthy. But when he comes back, he comes back. Plus, with the starting lineup which they're projected to basically put out there, Carl Anthony Towns works great because you're gonna get more space on the floor now. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
Mitch Robinson, you're not exactly gonna let him sit in the corner or on the wing or pick and pop at all. It's got you know what I mean. So you still get to use Carl Anthony Towns' skills and abilities to shoot, and to still attack the rim, and he can still make passes as well. So he fits very well with New York. And like you said, they traded him to a good team in the East. Not like like you say, he's not like he's in Utah or he's in Detroit. Wasting. He is at New York now. Great market. Obviously, we know New York is tough, so we're gonna see if he's really soft or if he's not. But he got put in a
Pause,
very
pause, pause.
okay, pause there. That one, yeah. But he got put in a very good position, which is. But yeah, like I said, with with Minnesota, with Minnesota, it's like Julius. That's confusing because I don't know what they're gonna do with him, but I refuse to see Julius start in the Minnesota Timberwolves. Like I swear down because flipping Julius Randle waving off Anthony Edwards and calling for an ISO in the post that won't hit like crack in the 80s. It's gonna be terrible. So he doesn't really fit there. With DiVincenzo, you can use him obviously off the bench scoring is something that they'll need to use. They still got Nikhil Alexander, so you could still run him at a free because he's got the size to do that. If you wanted to really like rest Conley and Edwards and Jalen McDaniels, I would then put Nikhil Alexander at the three. You put Dante DiVincenzo at the two and Rob Dillingham at the one. You run those three together, see what happens because at least they can all still playmaker, still have vision, and they can all score. Obviously, more Rob and DiVincenzo, so you can kind of have Nikhil Alexander sort of controlling the floor. So you can kind of work around that. And when I think about Julius Randle, I'm like, I don't see where he fits into this team. I don't see it banging. And with combination with Randall and Rudy Gobert, that's a recipe for disaster. That's putting mustard in a cupcake. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. So I don't I don't know what's gonna happen there. Like I'm very shocked. So I'm just like, okay, what are they gonna do with this? I don't know, but riding it, I'm gonna see.
Quick one before Jules goes. Sham said that apparently the Knicks were offering like deals to Minnesota all summer for Cat
Summer,
throughout
yeah.
the draft, and
Damn.
they said no to Julius Randle and Mitchell Robinson initially. Then when they offered Dante DiVincenzo, I think they piqued interest. It was still no, and then it was DiVincenzo, Julius Randle, and the pick, and they said yeah. And I really don't get that from Minnesota's perspective because you have a massive spacing issue right now. You had a spacing issue before. You have the biggest spacing issue now.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're saying I'm cool with Julius Randle camping out on the 3 point line. If that's what you're saying, then fair enough in it. But like,
His game, and it just won't work for him to be now a stretch big.
I
Like,
would, I would, I wouldn't say it's not necessarily his game. He does it in New York quite a lot. Like he kind of plays point forward for New York sometimes as well, which is kind of which they didn't need when obviously Brunson was there. Like he'll bring out the ball, he'll try and get into his bag on the 3 point line and perimeter and stuff like that. But I just don't want because if he's camping on the 3 point line, you're committing to him taking like 8 threes a game. I don't really want that from Julius Randle. 4 max is what I want to see from him because he's not a 40% shooter. Sorry, go ahead, Jules. Though.
Yeah, I just think that overall, like, I'll be honest, like you look at the scenario with what Julius Randle brings to them, I just don't think it has that it has that glue to it. Like I look at what the move from the other side and I look at Comfy Towns and then it plugs a hole, it plugs a gap that it needed. But on the flip side, I just don't see that. They've got Nas Reed.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They've still got Rudy Gobert. And if maybe you're trying to put now, obviously now I'm speaking about DiVincenzo, Rob Dylan, are you now putting Anthony Edwards at the three with Randall at the four? Like, I don't really understand their logic behind it. Like I get, like obviously in hindsight, you're trading a forward for a forward. In hindsight, obviously Cat is originally a centre, but he plays power forward, similar to Julius Randle. But it's just the player fit from the perspective of the way the Timberwolves played last season. The way what we saw from them, especially in the playoffs when they swept the Suns, was a team that had a lot of energy on both ends of the court, but used like their power and 3 point shooting to kind of dominate, but defensively were very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw at times, like we spoke about what Rudy Gobert comes to in the playoffs, it was more of Towns dropping to the center, then Nas Reed kind of filling it, and Gobert's minutes kind of got limited. So like, I'm just trying to really understand the theory behind this because does that now mean that we've gone against that? What worked
I,
for the first 2 rounds?
I think you can work around. I mean, I don't know how brave they're gonna do this, especially because they're paying that guy that's from France a lot of money. Yeah, if they're really willing to do it, I'm bringing him off the bench and starting Nasri.
He's got to take a historic pay cut. We're talking about. I don't want him on more than 7 mil a year. If he's coming off the bench, go back.
Yeah, if it's got like I don't know when does his contract finish? When he's for a new deal?
I think this is his last season actually.
But cool. I mean, if you want to then run Nasri at the power forward, which you can do, and obviously his size would make sense for him to be there, you can do that. And then from there, like you say, if you're gonna switch up from now, where you're gonna put one of them with the second unit, probably most likely put Rudy Gobert with the second unit, or you could put Nas, whichever way it goes, to pair him with Randall and Rob and DiVincenzo. They can sort of work around in that way. That's if they use it. But then I'm thinking, are you really going to bring Julius Randall um, off the bench? I mean, he can't. I mean, it probably could do, but you're going to have to play Nas Reed and Rudy Gobert because Nas Reed can space the floor. He was outside of Anthony Edwards. I would say he was like one of the best players, or not the second best
Hundred
player.
percent, 100%.
So I would say if you can squeeze him in there now as the four, where he can really have a bit more fun there, and then obviously have Rudy there. Then when it comes to the tight tense moments, you're Rudy, you're out. Put Nas Reed at the 5. You can put Randall at the 4 at least because then they can all at least still kind of space the floor, and then you kind of go from there with it. So I see where they can be used, but it's just about if it's going to fit with Randall. And I've always been kind of half and half about Randall. Like, I'm not too sure. If this was his contract year, I have confidence because then he will give his all. But because it's not, I don't know, man.
Gobert's got a player option next season, so he'll probably be there for at least another 2 seasons.
Terrible, terrible.
But I also think, like Jules just kind of put it in my head, I think if you're Minnesota, you're looking going forward. Nas Reed, I think, could be your big man for the future.
Yep.
And so I think really the only person who doesn't fit into this equation is Rudy because Nas can play the 5, or the 4. Julius Randle can play the 5 or the 4. Rudy Gobert cannot play the 4. So maybe they plan to move Gobert. God knows
Yeah.
how, but maybe they plan to move Gobert at some point throughout the season. Shop him. Maybe they've been shopping him quietly throughout the season. No one knows it, and then because if I'm Minnesota, I'll sell low on him. I don't mind. I'll take back. I'll take back a Boston first round pick if Boston had the money to do it. Just give me the 30th pick in the draft. I'm okay with that. I just need to get off that contract immediately.
Yeah. Literally. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, we'll see what Timberwolves and the Knicks kind of use the pieces they acquired. Just another one because I want to also get into a bit of what he's also said. Russell Westbrook is now with the Denver Nuggets.
He is.
Uh, would you not say it's a good fit for him to be there? I mean, I know Jokic was kind of fighting for him to get there, so
Me personally, I don't necessarily think it was. I don't think it's a bad fit. It's just like the whole concept of Rush right now is him accepting the role, and he did that. He did it at the Clippers, but then in the recent interview, it sounds like he wasn't happy he did it at the Clippers. So, is this always going to be a backhanded thing where he thinks he should still be starting because he probably shouldn't? However, like, I don't really think it makes sense to be honest. Like, if you're Russ, if you're a team that wants to bring in Russ, you need to not have a ball dominant player, or at least a ball dominant guard. Like if Russ is there, I don't see I don't see him playing many minutes with Jokic. On ball anyway. Now get me wrong, I can imagine Jokic getting a rebound, full court passing to Russ because Russ is already long gone down the other end of the court. I can imagine seeing that, loads. But
Russ cutting from the corners, back doors, getting all those passes.
I can see his off movement is going to be great. However, he had James Harden last year, and they threw Russ made loads of backdoor cuts, baseline cuts, and Harden was throwing him lobs the whole time as well. But clearly, he wasn't happy in his role. I think he even said right that he had to change the way he played. He wants to go back to playing how he used to play. So in that sense, he needs to be ball dominant. So if you're going to be doing that with a second unit, fine, no problem. I can see Denver might
Probably.
that's no problem whatsoever. But I don't know. It's just I wish nothing but the best for him. But at the same time, like I think he still wants to be Russ of old, and I don't think he. Not even that he can't be because he's still athletic. It's just his efficiencies have always been like the problem. And if it's not a problem in the regular season, it's the off season where it comes to bite him in the ass a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like the thing is, yeah, I think when he was talking about that not happening, I just think before the Harden trade, the
Mm,
Clippers had a great rhythm going. It
we
was
did.
work, it was working well with him. So, and he was kind of getting back to who he is.
Mm-hmm.
You know? That was him. So he was happy with that. And then once Harden's now they've gone for Harden, that's obviously hit because it's like it's not going to be the same anymore. We really can't play you guys together. And it's probably flashbacks of when there was in Houston Rockets where at first, yeah, 1-2 was working, but then at some point something's got to give. So I think with that it was a bit like okay, now you've got to take a sacrifice, and now the way you're going to play, you're not really going to have the because Harden's always demanding the ball if you're in the same court, unless it's just you by yourself. Usually you're going to be flipping bones, and so you're not really going to be used. Not like you're not using the right way, but you're not going to be Russ that you was where it first was. Before the Harden trade. So yeah, but just him accepting. I think Coach Malone will use him well.
Yeah.
Uh, Definitely use him well. He's the kind of I think he can definitely use his skills and bring out the best of him with this team.
Mm.
And yeah, man, I think they just have to he just has to play it right. If he plays it right, it'll be fine. So I could see depending on I could see him not sort of doing the KCP role. If let's say I don't know if they're going to bring him with Murray at the same time. Maybe they've probably experimented to see because really and truly, when you're not worrying about playmaking, scoring is great because it still opens opportunities for that.
Mm.
So then I'm aware, okay, I don't have to worry about playmaking no more. I can just be a scorer and hold my own on defensive end. Is a bit better for Murray. I don't know how long they'll probably try and do that, but you can have Russ being a bit more dominant, finding plays in their spots, or even if obviously you're at the top and then you kind of switch it around, So, but it depends how Malone uses it. But
Question. So obviously the Nuggets lost KCP. Who did they replace him with? They didn't, right?
they didn't.
So maybe Russ is going to start at the one and Jamal Murray's going to go to the two.
That's what I've been thinking. Like maybe that's what's gonna happen. It will be calm. Like it would be alright for them.
Is it?
I just think that like they've lost two massive pieces of their guards wise over the last 2 years. Obviously KCP the year before Bruce Brown,
Mm,
and I feel like last year in the playoffs, they did lack that energy that Bruce Brown brought. I feel had KCP been there, this would have been crazy good because I feel like had they kept KCP, you've got KCP is a great defender as we know. Russ can step it up in the playoffs, but Russ brings energy.
yep.
And especially if he's rolling with a second unit or, in my opinion, without Jamal Murray, really, because I think Jamal Murray, with the way he plays alongside Jokic, is a lot of ball dominance between them, mainly through Jamal Murray, but then it kind of feeds into Jokic too. I just feel Russ would disrupt that if they're all on the court together.
Mm.
Obviously, they could coexist, but I'm saying if they're playing the majority of their minutes on the court together, it could be a problem. It doesn't mean that they couldn't start together and then the way the minutes get spread out,
Yeah.
that Russ kind of takes control more of the second unit or more when Jamal Murray isn't there, which is what I think will happen. But if all three of them are on the court for the large majority of their minutes together, I feel there's going to be problems just in the way their roles are structured and being. Again, I might be wrong. Like you said, we're talking about a coach who won the chip 2 years ago. He's one of the best in the league. He could figure it out. But I just believe that the three of them being on the court together and the way that the Nuggets play, it would cause problems if they logged all their minutes together. Again, if it's spread, they'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Now that I've thought about it, like I hear what you're saying, but I do think the Murray Russing can actually work. It will only work if Russ is playing point. Like, don't ask Russ to be an off-ball
Yeah,
guard. Let Murray, because Murray did that at Kentucky. When he was in Kentucky, he was playing the off-ball guard, and it worked well because he can shoot. He can shoot, so he doesn't
exactly.
actually need the ball to be crazy effective. And whenever he gets the opportunity, I'm sure he'll still be ball dominant. But if you've got Jokic Mr. Triple Double, and Russ, who used to be Mr. Triple Double, with a lob threat in Aaron Gordon and a sharpshooter in Michael Porter Jr., and then Jamal Murray playing like a sharpshooter slasher position. Like I don't really. It does actually make sense when you put it down on paper like that. It just has to. Russ
But
has to be the one. Has to be the one.
exactly, it has to work like the way you just said it.
Yeah.
Like Jamal Murray can't play like the way he played last year. With they need to switch up that way. But I think, like I said, like you said as well, I think that Malone's good enough. I think they're good enough as well
It's true.
to figure this out.
They got a competent head coach. They'll sort it out.
Yeah. Another trade, since we're speaking about Murray's, DeJounte Murray now at the Pelicans, paired with Ingram and CJ McCollum. How does that also fit? Obviously, they've let go of Daniels, which isn't the biggest loss, but
It's not a loss at all.
yeah. So
It's not a loss. And what seed were New Orleans last year? That like did they make the?
They're playing.
they did.
Yeah.
They went against OKC, and OKC swept them.
There's a very good chance that this team could be a playing team again. Like just because of how tough the West is, just because Denver have gotten better, Golden State haven't gotten better. The Lakers are still very much there. I think the Clippers could easily still be a playing team as well. Like there's enough teams to make enough noise in the West. Phoenix look better than they did last year as well. Like there's enough teams that look like they're gonna still be causing problems.
I think the Grizzlies is who we got to watch out because remember
they went around last year because of Ja. Exactly. Ja Wicker's back, bro. So there's enough teams in the West where competition's gonna be crazy. So I could see it. All it takes for the Pelicans is for Bi or Zion to sit out for 20 games, and them boys gonna be messing around with the player, and it's long for them, innit? So I think it's a great move getting DeJounte Murray. I think they still need to get rid of CJ McCollum, but I mean they've done what they needed to do in the meantime. It's not a world beater to me. It's not going to win them a championship. It's too tough right now. I think honestly until LeBron, Steph, and KD retire, there's a lot of guys and a lot of teams that aren't going to matter that much because those three, their teams will always be in the competition, in the hunt, which means someone deserving probably isn't going to get there anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
I just think, just to kind of touch, and I think it's a good move. Like if you're looking at them last year and this year, it's an improvement on their roster. Yes. Does that improvement on their roster mean they've gone from the playing team that they were and getting swept in the first round to get into at least the Western Conference Finals? No. They probably are still getting to the first round. They're just probably winning a couple more games. Like, that's it. If they do get through the play-in and get to the first round, to me, like you correctly said, they face a competent team, which I feel every team that finishes above them would be. It would be hard to see how they get out and get to the second round. I just think...
Yeah, go.
No, you're going to even name it. Like, look at
Dallas,
yeah,
Denver.
Yeah.
Like, that's three teams instantly that I don't think they have a chance of beating just based off playoff experience, championship pedigree, all of these things. I don't even back them to beat a team like Phoenix. I think the Lakers, and they're not going to be favourites against a team like the Lakers either. So already you're kind of putting yourselves with backs up against the wall. And it's not their fault. There's nothing they can do about it. But they're still young. They've got more time. But like I said, I just think there's too many teams out there who have the better player. And I think that's what it always comes down to. I appreciate they're improving the base of their roster. They still kept Herb Jones. They've still got... Wait, did they keep Herb Jones?
Yeah.
Herb
Jones is there.
Trey Murphy's still there as well. They did not get a center. Is that correct? Because they traded Valanciunas, right?
Yeah.
So who's their center?
That's a good question.
I'm trying to check that out.
They've got problems. This is what I'm saying, bro. Like, they've got holes in their team. That's a team that could have done with a guy like Drummond. Daniel Tice is their center. They're pissed. So no. They're pissed. They're pissed, bro. Because all the teams that I just named to you all have big men in it. Chet is going to eat. Jokic is going to eat. Bro, hell, even fucking Julius Randle's gonna cause some problems for these guys, isn't it? Like, it's just a fact. So they've got holes in their team, but it's a working roster. I think the next move they have to make needs to be getting CJ McCollum like swapping him for a center somewhere. And I think teams need to stop sleeping on Andre Drummond. They need to stop sleeping on Andre Drummond because if you want a guy who's not that concerned about scoring, perfect center to have on your team, bro. He's going to give you 11 to 13 rebounds a night, not argue at all, and he's a great defensive presence.
Yeah.
He knows his role. And it's just like...
Did man say he's the greatest rebounder of all time?
Yeah,
Yeah. And he isn't, but he has a very good case. Like, if you look at stats wise, he has a very good case. Like, for him to say that, it's not like, oh my gosh, like, but do you know what I mean? Like, he used to get, like, I think there was like a streak, he got like 20 rebounds.
No, he was cinematic.
Like 3, 4, 5 games in a row. So he's a mad guy.
I'm trying to see where he is on the rebound.
He's not gonna be that high, bro. He averaged 6 rebounds like 2 years ago.
Yeah. But at his peak, he has a stake.
No. So I would say his prime is running from 2015 to 2020, where he averaged 14.8, 13.8, 16, 15.6, and 15.2, and then 15.8 rebounds. Like he was up there 100%, and that's when he was getting like he made All-NBA third team one of these years. He made the All-Star defensive player. He was top 10 in defensive player of the year voting. All-Star again. Like, yeah, I hear it.
Bro, how can you say you're the group greatest? You're not even in top 10 or top 20.
He's not going to be there. He's not going to be. Like,
yeah, but it's just like...
But when guys like Dennis Rodman were around who didn't care about anything apart from... he didn't care about anything apart from rebounding. Impossible.
At least like
0.0 assists, 0 everything.
At least being the top 20, not being the top 20 and saying like that's ridiculous.
I mean, his career average on rebounds is 12.4, which is actually really high.
Like, but it's not. For him to say it, I think he's probably talking about this generation. I don't think he's related.
No, he doubled down and said it all the time. He doubled down and said it.
Okay,
there's a video.
Yeah,
there's a video.
You can't
defend it, and it's fine. You know what, bro? I appreciate guys like that. You know, I appreciate. It's not true, but I appreciate guys like
that. Yeah. A few other free agency signings. I'll list them all. Then we can just kind of go through them. DeRozan going to the Kings. Move. Klay Thompson going to the Mavs. Down. Who else signed? Someone else.
COP.
Yes. Paul George going to the Sixers.
COP.
Also flipping.
It's a new one, you
know. Hartenstein and Alex Caruso going to the Thunder.
Yeah.
Flipping. Big move. So, yeah, just with all of those, like, we can kind of break down or like just talk about
Josh Kiddey as well. Josh Kiddey.
Yeah, we don't care about him. Giddy.
Josh Kiddey. Josh Kiddey.
Yeah, I mean, flipping, and also Lonzo say he's coming back this season. Like, yo, there's a lot going on. So, with all these moves, like, what are you guys' thoughts, man?
DeRozan makes sense in Sacramento. I know he would have preferred to go to the Lakers. They didn't have the money. He got to finally. I reckon he's gonna retire in Sacramento as well. Let the guy enjoy his time in California. So I'm happy for him. He got out of Chicago maybe a year too late. In fact, definitely a year too late. I reckon if he had some urgency to this whole process, he could have been on the Lakers at some point in the last 2 years if he had some urgency. But he kept
going to, and then they flip him for Russ instead, and they
I'm not totally mad at that move going for Russ though, because if you got the Russ that everyone thought he was going to be, that would have been a great move. It just didn't work out. And also, like, DeRozan had a great year his first year in Chicago, innit? Like, I remember that. Everyone was like, oh my god, resurgence.
Game winners.
He's as good as MJ. No. Talking all kinds of West. I probably said that myself, to be honest. I'm a hater. Yeah, DeRozan makes sense in Sacramento. I support that. Paul George is spineless. Has to be said. He is spineless, bro. He is spineless.
No, I don't know. No, listen.
He is spineless.
That's definitely biased.
Listen,
he's not biased. You man would say he's spineless as well. Is he not spineless? Dame said he keeps running from the ground. Is this not the definition? Running from the ground, bro. We had to call our whole future to get this one guy. You understand that? Our whole future we gave up to get
I
him.
know you're hurt. You're hurt,
No,
bro.
of course I'm hurt, bro. Do you know we still don't have our pick? Of course I'm hurt. For us to not have our pick and he's not on the team anymore. Do you know how crazy that is?
Look, Cam.
He's
Yeah,
a Spanish,
okay,
and now he's saying,
listen.
"Oh, I've never played with such a great big man and point guard at the same time." Shut up, man.
Yeah. Look, bro's tired, innit? Like
Tired of what? Playing basketball.
every single offseason where you think I'm running with this guy, Kawhi, and he's not there. And he's not there.
Does that
Yeah,
explain why he scores 7 points in the playoffs?
fair
Does that
enough.
explain? Does Kawhi not being there explain? No, it doesn't. So at the
No,
end of the day, no. Let's speak facts as facts, bro. He can be as upset as he wants, but the reason the Clippers have been underachieving, one, Kawhi's not there. Two, Paul George doesn't play like himself. All we need from him is to play like how he plays in the regular season. It wouldn't even be the same conversation. We might have even got out of that Dallas series
when he
because
did,
Dallas weren't playing well. But he keeps
confident.
doing this. Is what I'm saying. So he needs to take accountability. It's not about Kawhi not being there. It's because you yourself are not playing the way you should be playing. And that's a fact.
I'm not saying they shouldn't take accountability. Like he did to try, and he got you guys to the Western Conference Finals. At least he did that by himself. However, you needed your number one guy there as well,
Yeah,
man. That
we did,
over the edge. But he should take accountability.
100%.
Just
Because I thought it was 1A 1B, but apparently it's 1 and 7. It doesn't make sense to me. Also, this has to be said. This is why I'm more mad at him than anything else. I'd be okay with you complaining about Kawhi not being there and you leaving, but you made it about money. You made it about money. You said you wanted the same deal as Kawhi. We offered you the same deal as Kawhi. You said, "Let me get a no trade clause." That's not the same deal as Kawhi. That's not the same.
that's
It's just not.
yeah.
It's just not. So you, at some point in this conversation, you were lying. Your dad then went on your podcast saying that we were taking the piss. You were taking the piss in the playoffs. That's just a fact. I feel like at the
Yeah,
end of the day, bro, I appreciate that he came to this franchise when no one wanted to come here. However, when he got here, was the best roster we've probably ever had. Even better than prime Blake Griffin with CP, JJ, and a crazy bench. It was better than that. When we had Kawhi, Paul George, and we had Reggie Jackson, we had Lou Williams, we had Pat Beverly, we had Montrezl Harrell on our team. All of them guys on our team. We didn't do piss. Why? Because Paul George hitting the side of the backboard. That's why.
yeah. I mean,
It's tough though.
I think when
Yeah.
It's
he
not
goes
tough.
to say to make it about money on the podcast, I was actually like, bro,
He's
you're a
capping.
hypocrite
He's
because you
capping.
said if
Exactly.
That's what I say. It's tough to defend him.
yeah,
Sorry, it's tough to defend him because, like you correctly said, you can't really come out and say that, like, even come out and saying a point guard and something like Paul George. You are Paul George. Yeah, you're meant to be one of the best players in the NBA. Like, you went to a team that paired up with Kawhi just off a championship. He had, I think, finished in the top three in the
Top three
MVP
in
voting, if
MVP
I'm right.
voting the year before.
If
Yes.
I'm a year before. So Kawhi winning the chip, top three MVP voting. You're thinking, well, I was thinking, shit, the Clippers are serious. Then you've got Montrezl Harrell and Lou Williams, who both win Sixth Man of the Year in back-to-back seasons. So you're going off the best two players off the bench, and bearing in mind where they will finish a runner-up to each other as well. Then you've got a very, very competent team, and you've obviously got a GM and owner that cares. Sorry, an owner that cares and will fully go like within the championship roster and not let them down. I do feel there has to be a level of accountability, and I think for him to come out and kind of just his dad saying on the podcast or this or that, it is a bit like you're just trying to run away from the fact that it didn't
He
work
didn't
out.
show
You're
up.
not really
Didn't she?
just say
He
like
didn't show up.
I was injured. I didn't do this, I didn't do that. But I don't like the excuse blaming or trying to dish it to someone else kind of. I'm not a fan of that.
Last thing before we move on, because I I I feel a type of way about this especially. Yeah, Paul George this year averaged 19.5 points in the playoffs. Yeah, and his efficiency is what is always the problem in the playoffs. You know, in the playoffs, yeah, his highest field goal percentage was 45.5 back in 2015-16. Since he was at the Clippers, yeah, That in the bubble, 39.8. 2020-21, 44.1. This year, 41.4. 41.1, sorry. Like he becomes a shell of himself, and this is exactly why I can't give you Kawhi money. I cannot give you Kawhi, and we offered you Kawhi money, but I can't give you more than Kawhi. So just to move on from it, shout out to the 76ers. It's your problem now. You got him for 4 years on a super max. Let me know how that goes.
Yeah.
And it's not the same player he was, so we'll see.
He's not, but you know him not being one of the top two players might actually benefit him. I don't know. Maybe the expectation will be low. I think Dallas getting Clay is a big deal. I think Dallas getting Clay is a fair big deal because they're just going to swap Tim Hardaway Jr. for Klay Thompson. And I think that's going to make a mess because you can't leave him open. You just can't. You're going to have to because Kyrie's going to need a double team. Luka's going to need a double team. You ain't got 6 players on the court, so someone's going to be open for a free. So yeah, running Kyrie, Clay, Luka. I mean, I'd start Lively over Gafford. Lively and what's his name? With the baby mom. What's his name? PJ Washington.
With the baby.
Yeah, you knew what I was talking about, though. So
instantly, I was like, no
you
way.
knew what I was talking about. Yeah.
Baby mama dramas.
That's a very good lineup. And again, like coming off a Western Conference Finals, really. I mean, I hope you've got championship aspirations this year.
We're not making this about me. I know what I said. And
Oh,
I said
bruv. Why are you getting triggered already? I just said to you,
I'm not
you
getting
should.
triggered, but
You what? You literally. Do you know how I know you're getting triggered? Because you're doing this. You're doing this. You see that? You were here. You came here. You know what I'm saying? You're triggered, bro. Trigger me out.
Listen, I know what I said, yeah, and listen. We've just come off a finals appearance. Our roster has gotten better. We've got, like you said, Lively and Gafford are there. We've got Kyrie. We've got Lucas still there. We've got PJ Washington still there. Clay has joined. Quentin Grimes as well. We got the pieces to be successful.
You got Arswoody back.
I'm not happy about it. Like I said, Spencer Arswoody. I don't know why. That one, I said, it makes no flipping sense. Why is he back? What has he done? You took him away for a reason, and now you brought him back for what? But I guess maybe, I don't know what they're gonna do. Maybe they're just gonna
bench unit stuff. Your bench was weak.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess bringing him in there with Quentin Grimes, Gafford, and then the rest of the bag. At least we got what's his name? What's his name? Najir. What's his name again? The defender, man.
Not Najee Harris. The one that used to play for the Pelicans.
Yeah. So we got him. So we got like the benches. I'm not saying it's the strongest, but at least there's a few that will work, and you can kind of interchange it. You can switch on. If Harry's gonna be there with Dinwiddie or Luka with Quentin Grimes, because that's like another scoring guard you'll have, and then so it's looking good. I can't lie. It's looking
championship
good. Yes, it is. It's a championship roster. Is that what you would say? Yes, I've said it before. That is.
And so your expectations this year are
win the chip, or I light up the city. Win the chip, or I light up the city.
Wow.
We got to win a chip. We have to.
It's on one guy, bro. You know who it's on now, isn't it?
I know. Listen.
Right, cool. I'm just making sure it's known.
I'm just gonna say this shit. I'm not even gonna call him by his full name. Listen, I'm gonna call him by a name that you guys will know this name, but however, he doesn't know. LD. Yeah, this is what I want him to be. LD needs to be efficient. I don't want to see the rubbish that I saw in the fight. I don't want to see the rubbish defense. I don't want to see none of that.
I want to see Olympic qualifier Luka, bro.
Bruv,
moving crazy.
I promise you, I will throw a rock. Yeah, I will throw a tomato that's a rock inside, and it will hit him in his head if he doesn't pattern up. I promise you. Promise you. He's gonna have to put a restraining order on me because I'll be very, very angry, bro. He better flip him pattern up.
Yeah, it's a big season for you next season.
Yeah, obviously for you, Cameron, you don't have nothing to look forward to, so that's cool.
You know what that means, bro. I'm just gonna dedicate all my time to hating on the Mavericks, bro. That's all it means, isn't it? That's all it means, bro. Hate watching, bro. Popcorn and everything.
Just for you to have the whole season just to hate watch is going to be terrible. I
It's
might block.
impossible, bro. I've got the next 3 years to hate on one guy. You know.
I actually might block you. I know you're going to hate watch PG with a vengeance.
Yeah.
I know you
Can I say I might block you?
hate watch PG. He's going to hate watch Luke on the Madness. I promise you, if
Jimmy as well. Jimmy's getting hate watch to hell, bro.
I ain't Jimmy this year.
Why,
Bro,
Jimmy?
like, yeah,
Yeah.
Why
you
not,
see how
Jimmy?
correct for me today, yeah, because you know he means business. He means business.
Yeah.
Contract year, innit? I'm telling you, contract year, you'll get the best of play. You get the best.
He's still gonna be
I don't even
bugs,
know what to
but
say. I don't even know what to say about my team. All after everything that happened, it's all the same.
let's talk about what the biggest move according to the media. The Lakers drafted Bronny James, which means absolutely nothing because I don't think he's gonna play 5 games
He's
in the
gonna,
NBA this season. Probably not.
He'll make his debut, then he'll be in the G League for the
yeah,
entire season.
He's not gonna
and
play opening night. Like his debut will not come early.
he is gonna,
No, it won't.
Huh? We say Reds?
he's gonna play opening night. He's
Reds not, man.
100% gonna play opening night
Yeah, if the Lakers are blowing out or getting blown out, pause.
Ouch.
because they're facing who the Timberwolves in it. No, he'll be there.
Yeah. Bronny, go in there. Go
Yeah.
guard Ant.
Why
He's
not?
get posterized on your first.
Bro.
Nah, bro.
It'll be good. Honestly, if I'm him,
That's cruel. That's so cruel. Don't do that to
no, it's not. I'm throwing him
No,
though.
bro. Do you know how quickly, you could literally end up leaving the league if you had to guard Anthony Edwards on your first night in the NBA?
Listen,
After being sheltered by your father for so many
I
years.
I rather that you throw him in the Lions den, make him guard, and after that, it's not going to get any worse. Because now
Let,
you go. Listen to this. You go and guard Ant, yeah, in the opener, and whatever happens, happens. But you just know that when you go back to G League and you have to guard someone else, this isn't flipping Anthony Edwards, so it's going to be barbecue chicken to lock him up. It's better you get thrown in the Lions then, and then you grow from there. Otherwise,
let,
baby,
let me just read out the Lakers' first 5 games of the NBA season. Yeah, the Timberwolves, the Suns, the Kings, the Suns, and the Cavs. So you're telling me he's got a guard, probably Mike Conley, but probably some Anthony Edwards as well. Then he's got to go get his ass beat by Devin Booker. Then he's got to go get his ass beat by De'Aaron Fox. Then he's going back to Devin Booker for some more ass beating. Yeah. Then he's going to Cleveland where Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell are going to run a train on him.
Mitchell.
Do you know how
listen,
crazy that is, bro?
he was guarding Darius Garland off season. Obviously I don't know how successful, but all I'm saying is, if you promise you, if you throw him in that Lions den for those first 5 games, you, I'm telling you, it's going to be. It'll be good for him. I promise you, it'll be good for him. He needs that.
He'll get absolutely cooked, and the problem is because he's LeBron's son, the social media will
It's
blow
gonna
it
be
up so much more.
this is what you're not deep in, Ronnie, bro. Yeah, his first G League game will be probably the most televised G League game in the history of G League games.
That's fine. It's fine.
He'll bring money to the G League. He'll bring
100%,
viewers to the G League.
100%.
All I'm saying, throw him in that Lions den, yeah.
All right,
Fox,
cool.
Devin Booker, Anthony Edwards,
That's
Bradley
terrible.
Hill,
That's
yeah.
terrible.
Yeah. Bro, look, Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, because it can't get any worse from there.
He could tear his ACL. He could really, like, honestly, he could tear. I hope he doesn't. But he could. No. You say it can't get any worse, brother. He could tear his ACL. Do you
He won't.
understand that?
He won't. He won't.
He says he's gonna tear his
His
ACL
brother's
guard.
changed direction. Like, I don't want to see that for him, bro. He's so.
He'll be fine, man. Be good for him. I'm telling you.
Cool.
Before we go, are there any last things to kind of touch on? Like I say, obviously, well, I know what I'm expecting from my team. LA Jules, what are you expecting from your team this season?
It's exact same as last season. Probably second round exit at best. At best. LeBron breaks some more thingies and records and what you do with his son.
What records can he break this year? Then?
Just add more points, more assists,
Oh,
whatever
yeah,
he breaks.
yeah.
We'll find another record.
Every time he steps on the court, he breaks the record.
Career wise,
Yeah, literally.
he's averaging a triple double. you know how insane that is?
What do you mean career
Oh, I
wise?
didn't know that.
Obviously, he's on for what, 40 whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's insane. Yeah. Cameron, what are you even like?
Well, what?
There's nothing really for you to expect. Like, what are you gonna like? The team you have, yeah. I'm not even gonna say what I really want to say because we've got to keep it PG in it. But like, what are you expecting from your team? Like, what's because obviously Kawhi, he just had another flipping operation or whatever, and
Yeah. Same as always with Kawhi. For the next 3 to 4 years, 3 years mainly, we are first rounded out.
if that.
Well, you don't think we were going to make it to the first round of the playoffs?
I don't know if you are. You know,
I think we're going to be dibbling and dabbling with the playing. But for
playing. Yeah,
me, for me, I need them to make sure that OKC or Houston or whoever has our picks for that year do not get a lottery pick. So if it's playing, we need to get through that playing. You know, first round and out. That's all I need for them for the next 3 years. Um, I'd like to see us acquire a younger player as well. You know, like I look at James Harden and I'm like, this nigga looks old. I look at Kawhi and I'm like, this nigga looks old and hurt all the time. I just feel like we need to start making moves. So whether it be we trade away, pieces to get some first round picks, or let's take some risks on second round draft picks as well. Like I just think we cannot remain content with our current situation because we don't have draft picks until like 20. I thought it was 2026. I think it's like 2028. It might even be 2030
jeez.
because we had to give away a first rounder to get James Harden.
Which is just nuts. I think, to be honest though, like I think what you need is you need someone that needs to be like post Harden, Kawhi, whatever's going on.
Yeah.
You need someone to kind of come in that's young, and you can like, you know what? In about 3-4 years time, this is someone we can actually say we can look forward and not pin our hopes on, but there's a future prospect. I don't really see that with you guys, like post Harden and post Kawhi.
Yeah,
Honestly,
go on.
honestly, you lot just need hope. You just need someone to give you
What's up gonna do? What's up? Hope ain't gonna save me.
players.
We've been needing
I've
hope.
been asking for hope for the last 5 years. Hope ain't done shit for me. Hope don't know me. Fuck that, man.
Hope just got you injuries.
Yeah, man.
Aye, but yeah, you lot got a long road of recovery ahead, boy. But let's see if Kawhi actually say. If I'm gonna tell you this, if Kawhi does not play in this postseason, like I'm talking, okay, you win a playoff game, like for the whole first round, I'm done with him. I'm writing him off.
In
I'm
terms
writing
of
him off.
what? Done with him in terms of what?
I'm just writing him off. Like I don't
Have
care
you
about
not
him
written him
anymore.
off already?
Yes, but you know,
What
it's
are we talking about it?
not like
What are
fully
we
though, innit?
talking about?
But not fully because
Kawhi's been written off,
He's
bro.
written.
not
I've
not
written. I've written him off, bro. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with him. He's just a nigga that plays for my team now.
you can't
I thought
you
because
can't
what?
write contract he has. You can't write him off. You got to
He's
support him.
he's not playing. He's not playing to start the season. I've written him off.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, write him off, man. I'm just saying.
James Harden is the Clippers' best player right now.
Ouch.
Someone say ouch. Others wouldn't.
Yeah, no, say ouch because
Nah, these men are gonna either receive my hairline further or turn me to an alcoholic in it. We'll see. Well, in fact, that's my goals for the season. To not be a drug addict by the end of the season, bro. That's what I'm.
They already turned you to alcoholic, bro.
we don't forget that clip that had you back in that Lasolas, bro, like he was water.
Bro. And they don't know it was a morning recording. This was early. This was early.
I think we can write off alcoholic already. So yeah, that's
Tick.
stay off the drugs, bro. Anyway,
Wrap that episode, man.
you
Wrap
see,
that episode.
I'm just saying the way you look,
He's rattled.
the way you look right now, and the way you're sitting, that's exactly how you're gonna feel the whole season. I'm just like,
It won't, because I have no expectations. You cannot upset a man who doesn't care or doesn't have expectations, bro. Do you know
you know what?
the only thing
Yeah,
that can upset me is if the Mavericks win a championship, I'm living. I'm living.
I'm letting you know. Yeah, I'm just letting you know. If the Mavs win the chip this season, I'm not gonna message you. I'm not gonna call you. I'm just gonna be in your house in the living room. And then from there, whatever happens, happens. But I'm just saying that I'm going to be there.
Yo, pause.
I'm going to be there, yeah, and I'm requesting items from your home because it's no longer your home, it is mine. That's all I'm saying.
Terrible.
In fact, if the Mavs win the chip, yeah, you are putting a full tank of petrol in my car. That's what you're gonna do. You're putting a full tank of petrol to my car, and you are driving me to Harvest.
Rodney, if the Mavericks do not win it, I'll agree to that. But if the Mavericks do not win, you got to change your son's middle name to Cameron. Yeah.
That doesn't just involve me, bro. So I like my
What?
life.
What?
I'll I will buy him a Clippers jersey. Yeah, how about that?
Ah, yeah. I like that. I like that. I like that.
That's good.
I like
Yeah,
that. But it's got to be a Kawhi one because
is he gonna show?
he will never know who he is because they'll never see him play.
Who's this guy?
If I order a Kawhi jersey, will it even show up to my house?
Probably not, bro.
Probably get injured on the way.
Exactly. Or the estimated delivery is 6 to 8 months. Taking a piss.
Yeah, guys. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow us on all socials at Take It to the Pod on X, at Take It to Rim Podcast on TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Follow it. Yeah, anyone that wants to, on the virtual. So if you need to, chip and chive, come on, just send us a message. Anything you want us to, talk about, let us know. Just rock with us this year so we can have a good year and really take over, man. Yeah. As Jules always leaves us and says,
Over and out, baby.
out.